Hello, surgery peeps. How you doing tonight? I'm doing this video because Rosemary asked me to, and boy, when Rosemary or Gastric Rose asks you to do something, you just really want to do it. She did a video a few days ago about the scale, the tyranny of the scale, and I was very affected by her video, and I guess some of the comments I made she thought might be something everyone should see, and so she asked me to do a video response. Basically what happened to Rosemary was she was at a thrift store, and I gotta put in a word here for thrift stores, because gotta love the thrift store, especially if you're losing weight fast. Who needs to buy a new wardrobe over and over and over when you've got wonderful thrift store finds? And besides, I just love thrift stores anyway, whether losing weight or not. There were 3 Weight Watchers scales, and that's a pretty great brand. And I guess Blue Eyes, her husband, wanted one, was hoping to get one of them. And she weighed on all 3 of them. Well, the first one, I guess her weight right now fluctuates around 150 pounds, and which is yay. But the first one said 180 pounds, and she was immediately plunged into complete and total self-loathing, guilt, questioning herself. How did this happen? When did I gain this? You know, I mean, immediately it happened so quickly. I mean, then she weighed on the next one, and I think it was around 135. I don't remember all the numbers, but she felt great. I mean, it was like going from that one extreme to the other immediately, feeling wonderful, thinking how awesome it was that she could be that light. You know, I mean, it's wackadoodle, right? I think the third one finally shocked her to her senses, because it said 104 pounds, and she knew that wasn't true. So I think what it brought her to is how important it is that we not let ourselves be defined by the number on that scale. I mean, first of all, if you all looked at my article about the stall that I posted a while back, you could be not losing, but yet your body is losing. It's just it's making a 2-pound glycogen store using 7 pounds of water, as I learned from that article, and so the numbers aren't showing it, but your inches will. But even without that, the truth is, you know, if you're working really hard and you're working the program and you're exercising and all that stuff, it's really a shame to let a little hunk of metal that you stand on give you a bad time at all. Now, the background for me that is really interesting that I need to share is that 16 years ago, I was in a situation where I was really delaying medical care because of my fear of weighing at the doctor. I mean, I was that troubled by it, and I wasn't necessarily super obese at the time. I actually had found working out as a way of maintaining my weight, or at least, you know, helping maintain my weight and helping me keep from gaining too much. But I just had dealt emotionally with so many issues about weight all my life that's just what I was doing. I was also suffering from depression, and so I'm sure that was representative of that I was delaying health care. Well, I was seeing a therapist for the depression, and she told me I don't have to weigh. Wow, did the light bulb go off over that. She said the doctor works for me, and if I want to decline to weigh for my own reasons, I am free to do that. Well, I started doing that right away. I mean, that was really a moment. And I did not weigh for 16 years. I think at the beginning it was really empowering for me, and it really served me well. I found more working out. I was really able to keep my weight down. As I am a person, if I'm active, I can keep my weight down. I think that when it stopped serving me to not weigh was when I injured myself. I hurt my back, had back surgery, and then had a series of falls. And once I could no longer be active, I started putting on a lot of weight. And I think I knew that. I mean, obviously my sizes were bigger, but you can really work the denial, I'm here to tell you. And I do not think that not weighing served me at all during that time. When my pain management doctor and my started hassling me a little about losing weight for the sake of my body. And when my general practitioner suggested that maybe weight loss surgery was an option for me, I was like, what? Weight loss surgery? You have to be really, really big for that. Duh, I guess the light bulb hadn't gone off yet. Well, I let her weigh me in October of last year, but I did not look because I wasn't ready. In January, at the end of January, I just grabbed the bull by the horns and stood on the scale, and oh my God, I mean, I think all the blood drained out of my face. I was 60 pounds higher than the weight I imagined in my worst imagination imagined I would be. I always thought I was about 220 pounds, and I was 280. And I can tell you that from that day, I made my way through the roadblocks as fast as I could until I got my weight loss surgery, my vertical sleeve gastrectomy on May 9th. You couldn't give it to me fast enough because there was no way I was going to let that continue. I knew that without activity, I was not going to be able to get that weight off, and I knew that without getting the weight off, I wasn't going to be able to become an active and vibrant person again, and I wasn't going to let that happen. Here's where it becomes a really tricky thing about the scale. Yes, I think it's really bad if we let it define us, but at the same time, first of all, I think we need it for being accountable. I mean, I know that once I get this weight off and I'm in maintenance, I'm going to need to weigh myself regularly so I can keep on top of what's going on. I never want to get into that kind of denial again. But it's like we have to strike a balance where we aren't letting it create a bad day for us. We felt great when we woke up that morning. It's terrible to let a little piece of metal that you stand on suddenly give you a bad day. I wish I knew the answer, Rosemary, and everybody else. I wish I knew how to achieve that balance. Now, the other thing that really came up for me, and I think one of the reasons that the scale starts to mean so much to you, is that you have had food be such a big part of your life for so long. I mean, it's a natural thing. It defines so many, I mean, life's transitions are marked with wonderful ceremonial foods. I mean, there are special family foods, recipes that are passed down through the generations. Who doesn't have a wonderful relationship with food for most of their lives? And then you have weight loss surgery, right? We've had weight loss surgery, and suddenly food really can't hold that same place for you anymore. I mean, I certainly experienced it when I was in Hawaii, and there was a wedding and a family birthday party, and then a luau that it can't be the same for us. So that creates a really big hole, and I think it's really easy to let the scale occupy that place because the results that we get for doing the work, I mean, I'm working hard here. I'm limiting my carbs, I'm exercising a couple hours a day, and the scale is the thing that's giving me my feedback, and so it's a tricky thing. I think that's really what I was trying to say to Rosemary, is that I want to not let the scale define who I am, but at the same time, I need it for feedback. I need to see that I'm on the right track. I need to kind of measure since I'm trying this whole thing of trying to figure out how many carbs do what. I'm looking to it for feedback. Like I say, I had 85% of my stomach removed, so I better see that number going down or something's wrong. So I want to hear what you all have to say, and I guess I'm wanting you to hear what I have to say about this. You know, it's a tricky thing. I've got 2 scales, by the way, and I weigh on both of them, and I even took my scale into my doctor's office so that I could compare my scale to his. That's where I'm at with scales. But I'm also a wonderful person, and I'm not going to let that scale define who I am either. And I hope you don't. So what do you think? See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.